Hello everyone and welcome back to Resonant Rise episode 10, and between episodes I've been transferring my stuff from my little house over here into here. Now I haven't actually got them all connected up, so I think up to here is connected. So anything on this wall up to this point and anything to this point is connected, plus them two barrels there are also attached. Eventually, like I said, I will be getting the storage buses for every single one of these barrels, but for now I'm just moving it all into here and then I can use what I want. And let's see, we've also got a walrus. Yeah, he doesn't really do much. This episode I decided rather than to be doing all that on camera, like moving all the stuff over and attaching it, I decided instead I'm going to get rid of this stuff and get myself something a bit better, because this is about to break, so there's not much durability left on all the pieces. And I'm a little bit bored of running at this speed and not being able to actually do anything. So, what am I going to use? Well, I decided this season I'm making myself do difficult things by building, say, 8 smelteries or ridiculous amounts of stupid things like this. So I'm going to make it a little bit easier for myself and use some Dartcraft. And Dartcraft has its own armour. It's called Force Armour, so Force Boots, Kilt, Tunic and Cap. Right, okay, so to get started with Dartcraft, the first thing you're going to want to craft yourself is one of these things. It's a Force Rod. Now you can either craft a broken one or a not so broken one. The problem with the broken one is you need a Force Stick. Now to get the Force Stick you actually need to grow yourself a Force Tree. So you're going to need to get one of these things, Force Sapling, which requires a rod. So that's why there's 2 recipes. So very simple to craft. You need a Force Ingot, a stick and a Force Nugget. Now Force Nuggets are Force Ingots crafted. Sorry, it's actually the other way around. So it's a Force Ingot crafted into 9 nuggets. And the Force Ingots themselves are actually quite easy to get hold of. There's a few recipes here. So as you can see, we've got a Force Gem and 2 Iron Ingots. So these can be mined from the floor, mix them with a few ingots, and you get some Force Ingots. Place down a sapling in the world, give it a click, and it will turn into a Force Sapling. So that's where the rod comes into it. Then you can bone meal this tree if you want, and you get a very, actually, nice looking tree. I quite like the look of these things. Next thing you want to craft yourself up is an Enchanting Table, and place it on the floor, give it a whack with the Force Rod. As an item, if you place it on the floor, it doesn't work, but you'll get yourself this Force Infuser. Okay, so I've hooked up a energy cell to the Force Infuser. Now I've added a piece of conduit in the middle because this takes Minecraft joules, but it doesn't take red flux. So to convert it, basically a piece of conduit will convert it over. All I need to do then is give this a click to the right direction. It will start to power into here. You see, nicely building up. This slot up here is for a upgrade term. Now I've already created one of these. I did it off camera. Didn't really mean to. It's just sort of habit. All you do is you get yourself a book. You throw it on the floor like you would with the other stuff. Give it a click with your Force Rod and it'll turn into an upgrade term. Now as you can see, the Force Rod does become quite useful, so there's a good chance you'll probably just want to bin the other rod or use it for the first few bits, and then just create yourself one with a Force Stick. Right, and as you can see, when we put this upgrade term in, up here this box will change colour, and that's to unlock a extra slot. So we've got the central one, which is where we put the item, and then we put in these 2 somewhere where we can put an upgrade. Now this tab here, oops, sorry about that, the info tab will show you the items you can use to upgrade. Now initially they are disguised, but if you give them a click, then you will get a bit of a hint of what you can use. So to get one of these Dartcraft 101 books, if I throw it on the floor, give it a quick click, we've got the Book of a Marauder, Dartcraft 101. If you actually read this thing, you've got it's a bit like a Thermonomicon. You can unlock certain things, and you've got, you know, all the information you want to ever read about the whole mod. The next thing is what the actual infuser does. Now, as you can see over this slot, there is a tank below it, and if we throw in a gem, we'll get a small amount of liquid force. It's about a bucket's worth. We can throw however many we want really, and it'll fill it up. Another way to get this stuff is if you use a squeezer, which I think I showed you last season. Squeeze it into thingy, you get slightly more. You get, I think, 1.5 buckets per crystal. So if you're running low, which I actually am, you might want to squeeze it up, get a bit more liquid force. Right then, so to apply some upgrades, you create yourself a few different items. Now, they're all using the force items. So we've got a range of tools, and we also have the armor that I showed you before. So I've got myself a pick and a sword, and then you throw it into the infuser. When you throw it in the fuser, it will obviously go into the middle slot. You can't place it in the other slots, so it'll always go in the middle slot. And then go along your list and pick your items. So if I read this, perhaps a small fragment of force. Well, pretty easy really. It's a force nugget. So we'll add a force nugget, and as you'll see, this little symbol down here then becomes, it lights up basically. It becomes active. We can also add 2 of these if we really wanted to. Not really worth it. Click go. We get a little progress bar up here, and we hear a little thing. Right. As you can see, now the sword has knockback 1 on it. Now if we were to put 2 nuggets on there, we probably, well, I say probably, we would have got knockback 2. There you go, just grab myself a fresh sword. You can't apply a enchant to a old sword, so you have to basically create a new weapon or tool every time you want to upgrade something. You could apply multiple to the one. So let's see if we can apply one of these 2 as well. So we've got forceful logs, and we've also got taste like win and diabetes. Well, sugar. Now this can't actually be applied to a sword, so click this one through, and we've got damage 1. So add the axe and give it a click. Wait for it to complete. Now, as you'll see with the liquid force as well, it does consume some in the process. So that's done, but we'll get a lumberjack enchant on the axe. Another thing to note is this is now tier 2. It starts as tier 1, but it's now tier 2. And what happens is if I hold shift, you'll see that 120 force points, that's how many I've got in total. For the next tier, I need 150. Now, you can do that basically by adding enchants to everything. I believe the first time you do it, you get more points than you would if you did the same enchant twice. So say I did sugar on a pickaxe and then I did another one. It wouldn't get as many points for the second one as it would for the first. Right, okay. Demonstration of the lumberjack enchant. Fairly obvious. Hit the bottom one. It does the lot. Oh. Hello there, witch. Here's a funny little enchant you can get. Force shears are pretty cool. I'll show you another function of them, but with one of the items you can get the rainbow enchant. Now we've got a white sheep here. Give him a shear, and we've got ourselves some grey wool. So what it does is it has a completely random chance of colouring the sheep. So let's click this one over here. See what we get this time. So we've got some purple. We even got some orange wool and white wool. So you get loads of random stuff. Another cool thing you can actually do with shears is you can shear a cow. And it becomes a cold cow. But it does give you a piece of leather in the process. So that's pretty good way of getting leather. And them cows are very loud. Now, as far as stupid ideas goes, this is probably the best one. So I've managed to find myself a creeper, and I've been running away for a bit. Now, if you attack him enough, you should be able to get him low enough. Oop. I'm gonna need to punch him a bit. Go down to 1 health. Now, you should be able to pick him up in one of these flasks. There he goes. The problem with the flasks is he explodes in them. But that's how you get yourself some glass powder. So that's not the most ideal of ways of doing it. You can do it in other ways, but that's probably more fun. So I've been a bit silly. As you can see at the top bar, there's now like a Zelda-y sort of interface to it. This is to show you how much power, I guess, your armor has. And I've been a bit silly, and all I've done is I've added speed to every single thing that I own. So it's a stupid set. It doesn't do anything except make me go faster. It does, I mean, it applies some protection. So this is a standard walking pace, and without jumping, as you can see, it'll walk up a block. So quite simple. If we sprint, we go a lot faster. If we jump, we go really fast. And also, if you want to see what the Zelda bar does, run on some water. So you can actually travel really quite fast with these things. But as you can see, the bar at the top is diminishing. When you run out of power, you will eventually just plop into the water. Now you may notice my level at the bottom has been going down throughout the episode, and the reason is because you do actually need XP to enchant these things. As you can see, I've placed in a RE battery and a new force tunic, but the problem is I need experience of 1. Now that's not too bad, because before, when I made the enchanted book thing, I got a bit of enchanting, so this should hopefully get me a level. Ooh, just off. Okay, so you will eventually run out of experience, and then you'll have to go out and kill some mobs or whatever to get yourself some more. So that's it. So, I mean, for now, I will just use my super duper silly quick armor and run around. But the problem with running around this fast is I'm going to be doing it a lot more. So I'm going to run out of food faster. And I've actually been surviving off this stuff here, which is calamari. Fairly easy to get. It's just a raw squid and a bowl, and you get 3 of them. The problem with that is you've got to go swimming for each piece, and that is just tedious because I don't have anything to help me swim. I just have to basically dive down with a door, place the door at the bottom to get some breath, whatever. Not very fun. So I'm gonna make myself a farm. Now, the first farm I'm gonna make isn't gonna be that anything special. It's just going to be a simple farm. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to extend this building upwards, as I said I was going to, keep all my stuff in one factory. So this is the beautiful contraption I decided to make. Yeah, I know it's a bit ugly for now. What I actually thought about doing is, rather than having this sort of pattern repeated or whatever, I'm probably going to remove this and maybe make a stained glass something or other. I don't know. So I'll think about it. But for now, this will do. It's just obviously raised off the floor enough to be able to grow the secure trees underneath, hopefully. And that way the secure trees will be able to grow, won't be affected, and everything should work fine. So, simple way up. Elevator around here. There is actually no walls, so I'll try not to fall off. But we've got, up here, we've got a water tank here. We've also got some dirt, and that's pretty much it. So in my hand, I've got a sprinkler from Open Blocks. Now if we place it down, it will sit there for a bit, and as you can see, it'll start throwing water out. The tank underneath will start to decrease in water, so it's consuming it as it goes. Once it's finished the initial cycle, so once it's sort of watered all the blocks, it'll actually slow down, and there we go, it'll stop. So now all we need to do is, I've made a hoe. We hoe all the grass. Now this will keep the same amount of distance watered as a normal source block would, so it's in a 4-block thing, so 1, 2, 3 and 4. Very standard. And I'm going to hoe all this and plant the seeds, so quick blur fade into that. And we're done. So you might be wondering why I'm actually using a sprinkler rather than just a block of water, which would work just as well. But a sprinkler is actually a little bit faster, so as you can see, there's already, I mean, I've literally just planted these, there's already crops starting to grow. You can also hit it with a bit of bone meal, so you can put some bone meal in there, and every so often it will use it, and it will increase the growth of all the crops. So that's pretty much why I use the sprinkler. It's a lot faster to use. No way to harvest it yet, but I'll figure that out on another episode. But it just gives me a quick source of food. But that's about it for episode 10 of Feed the Beast Unleashed. I will put a download link in the description once I've finished the build and done my sorting system, and possibly added something to this. I don't know about that. I'll throw a download link in the description once I've done it. And that's about it. So thanks for watching. Don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, and I will see you later.